America's calling, and it ain't pretty. Welcome back, everybody. Second video, you know what to do. Click that subscribe button. Let's get into the horrible and dirty details of what took place with Prince Andrew and why he is heading to court in America. Prince Andrew will face a civil sex case trial in New York. Prince Andrew's legal team had argued in court papers and proceedings that Giuffre's 2009 settlement with Epstein shields him from her lawsuit. The settlement, which was unsealed on the 3rd of January, awarded Giuffre $500,000. Their agreement contained a provision that stated second parties and any other person or entity who could have been included as a potential defendant from all manner of action and actions of Virginia Giuffre, including state or federal cause and causes of action, protected Prince Andrew. However, that has been thrown out by the judge. Not only that, I'm pretty sure they've really angered the judge with some of the stuff they've talked about and suggested are reasons for the case to be dropped, and we'll go into detail about that shortly. First of all, I wanted to talk about some key points brought up by the judge in his decision, including the fact that there are at least 30 girls that have been abused by Epstein between the years of 1999 and 2007, and again, that would include actions taking place in the UK. Again, London Met will not investigate this. It also stated that the defendant relies mainly, not exclusively, on the 2009 agreement in order to try and put his argument forward. If that's the case, it's not looking good for Andrew and his defense team. So let's have a look and see what the judge actually said about the 2009 agreement and why essentially he throws it out. Firstly, if the government decides that you're a victim, then that waivers the 2009 agreement. The next problem that the judge points out is that the 2009 agreement is too vague. Whatever it was intended to mean is riddled with drafting problems and ambiguities. He then goes into further details about the vagueness of it, suggesting that, for example, if Giuffre settled with Epstein, could sue someone else, who in turn might sue Epstein. And that plan probably wasn't shared with Giuffre, so she wasn't fully aware of the details and the plan of the contract that she was signing. And according to the judge, that matters. Now, there's an interesting view of Andrew's conduct according to the judge, and I quote, "And although she alleges in her complaint, it should go without saying that the alleged conduct, if it occurred, reasonably could be found to have gone beyond all possible bounds of decency and is intolerable in a civilized community." Adding that the defendant does not challenge the complaint's sufficiency as to any of those elements I've just described. It gets messier as well as the judge begins to put strikes against the defendant's team and the defendant. Strike one! The first strike from the judge is Andrew's defense team thinks there is a time limit on bringing a case like this. There isn't. Strike two! The next claim from Andrew's defense team is that Virginia Giuffre's claims are vague, and the judge goes to town on them, saying Miss Giuffre's complaint is neither unintelligible, nor vague, nor ambiguous. It alleges discrete incidents of sexual abuse in a particular circumstances at 3 identical locations. It identifies to whom it attributes that sexual abuse, including London. You're out of here! And this final one might irk some Americans, because Andrew's team begins to attack the constitutionality of the New York Child Crimes Act. The judge completely slaps it down, saying the defendant isn't the first to argue this, and that every New York state and federal court have encountered it has rejected it. To be honest with you, it looks like a complete shambles of a defense. And they're just doing anything and everything to delay this, and it's not going to happen. And in fact, this is going to backfire even more now. This case could easily end up happening in July. A lot of people are predicting September, October. Either way, that kicks in during and over the period of the Jubilee. And throughout all of that, you've got this big question of who's paying the bill for Andrew's legal team. By the looks of it, I'd be shocked if they kept that team and whether or not they're just going to sack it and bring in a new team. Love to hear your views on the judge, as well as what's going to happen with the Jubilee with this hanging over us. I hope you enjoyed my political observations this week. If you'd like to support me, please share the video with others and post about it on social media. If you're keen for more, subscribe, comment, like, and hit that notification button. Thanks for listening, and see you next time on Political X.